Hello and welcome to the Bearded Gamers. My name is Dan. I'm one half of the Bearded Gamers. My partner in crime is not here today, and this is going to be build mode, which is a series of videos which will show you how I've built something or put something together in the hobby. And today I'm going to show you how I've put together my fold-in gaming table for this beautiful game here. Marvel Crisis Protocol from Atomic Mass Games. It looks beautiful, and it's a board that I don't have yet. So I play a lot of Star Wars Legion, played a lot of 40k in the past. So I've got an Endor themed board, a Tatooine themed board, a 40k desolate desert kind of themed board, but I don't have anything sort of modern day that would be suitable for this. Now there are lots of YouTube tutorials of how to make really super cool city boards. There's some by Sorastro, who's done an awesome tutorial for terrain building and city recently. Also Jay over at the Terrain Oddity has done a nice little one, and so has Mel the Terrain Tutor. So go and check those guys out because they've done some really cool sort of cityscape ones. What I thought I would do is something a little bit different. So still kind of modern day, but rather than city with sort of shops and streets and stuff like that, I wanted to do a dockside with like a cool dock crane, shipping containers, a big ship, some water effects. So I'm going to have like a depot on one side, and TT Combat have sent me a bunch of cool stuff to make this sort of dream come true. So thanks to them for sponsoring this build, and this will be kind of like a vlog. You'll see a series of videos that will chronicle my progress in building this board, and hopefully it'll look something like it does in my head up here. So let's have a look at the bits that I've got to get going first. So here are some of the bits that TT Combat have sent over from their City Scenics range. We've got a huge sort of dockside ship, I guess, with shipping containers, all sorts, called the MSV Ironsides. Got some pallets. We have got sort of factory equipment, shelving, skips. We've got like sort of dockside stuff, huge docking crane, and the actual depot itself, which does have a removable roof. So we'll be fighting inside and out with the Hulk and all sorts. And then we've got a few sort of little bits of scatter terrain down the bottom here. So hopefully this will fill my 3-foot by 3-foot table and look super cool. So what are you actually going to need to build this board? Obviously we're going to need some sort of board to put everything on. So what I've got here is 2 sheets of 6mm MDF. I've kind of roughly drawn some images on there, sort of where I want the ship to go and stuff like that. Now the gaming space is going to be 3-foot by 3-foot, so the trim around the edge here is you want to be extra on top of that, so the gaming space still remains that 3-foot by 3-foot, or in this case with millimeters, it works out about sort of 920 by 460. So what I've used is the 6mm to be nice and lightweight. Round the edge I've used planed timber. Now I've got 4 side sections which are going to go along the sides here, and then 2 long sections which will go along here. Now I've used plain timber because it's got a nice finish. You can also cut it fairly easily, which makes it a lot easier to work with. Now I've gone for 25mm thickness along the sides because there's going to be a hinge here which will connect to the next section, so it'll all fold up. Now in order to get a hinge that'll fit that, you're not going to get much thinner than 25mm, so that's why I've gone with that one. And I've also gone for 17mm along the thickness here, and that's by 70, and then this is, like I say, the 920mm long. So dimension wise, I'll load those up so you can see those on the top now. 4 sections like this, 2 sections like this, and your flat MDF board. So this is roughly what it should look like once all of the wood is constructed. At the moment, none of this is attached. I'm going to wait for a buddy of mine who's a really good woodworker, who's going to come around and help me countersink all of these sections in, make sure they go round. This is where the obviously the hinge will go. And I've sort of roughly placed stuff where I want it to go. I'm going to have the ship along this side here. Now I've got quite a bit of depth here, so the plan is I'll be able to do like a water effect section down here. We'll have the ship suspended in the water. Probably not the whole height of the ship. We'll probably cut that off because we want the board to be able to close. So we can't have anything coming above this line. So what I'll do once we've got this all attached, I'll fill it in with foam, nice and lightweight. Obviously not attach it down the middle there. Foam down this side, foam down here, make a nice surface. We'll have the depot over this side with like a car park and factory outlet, and then the crane will sort of be able to freely maneuver down the middle. That's the plan anyway. So here are the bits that I picked up from B&Q along with the wood. So I've got my screws, I've got like a latch lock here. These are my hinges, and this is a handle which I'm hoping will be able to go on one side like this to be able to, once it's locked up, carry it around. Because the idea is I'll be able to transport this to my local gaming club, things like that. Now these only set me back about £3 each. The actual wood itself, I spent about £35. I had to get a couple of lengths of this, which were about £3 each. A couple of lengths of the extra thick wood here. There's about £4 or £5 each. And then the actual, this was one sheet of MDF that was then cut down. So overall, I spent about £35 to £40 on the wood and all of the casings and sort of nails and bits and bobs to finish it up. So overall, not too bad. So next step is obviously to get it put together, nail it, screw it, put some glue on it, and see how it looks once it's put together. So as you can see here, I've marked out where I want all my screws to go through, and what I'm using here is just I think it's about a 10mm drill bit, just to lay in some sort of countersinks, because I want the screws to obviously lay flat. Or be flush against the wood. So nice and simple, just lightly use the drill until you get about the right depth in. Obviously you don't want to go through the whole lot because there's only 6mm there, so just be careful, wipe off any excess and do a little bit at a time. For a bit of extra sort of security, make the bond stronger, I'm also laying down a sort of layer of tacky glue. So it's just like PVA, it's just a nice little bottle that I got from Hobbycraft for a couple of quid. Once your glue is on, obviously just line up your MDF sheet to the plain timber around the edge, make sure you get it nice and flush to the edge, and then get your drill ready to get the screws in. So I'm just using an electric drill, a battery operated drill that I borrowed off my mate Lance, because he's the one with all the tools. Thank you, Lance, legend. And I'm just screwing in through my countersink holes to give a nice sort of strong bond with the glue as well. So just get those in nice and easy, make sure they do go down flush. So when you obviously turn the board up the other way, and it's actually the way you want it up, that the screws aren't going to cause you problems or make it sort of wobbly in any way. So once they're all in, go round obviously all three sides of each section of MDF, and you should have something that looks like this. So one half done, second half to do. All my counterpoints are marked out, glued up, ready to glue and screw. So here it is, the bits around the sides on the board stage, I guess. You can see it's looking pretty cool. We've got just the handle, and I've got this kind of sort of locking mechanism to go around it once it's done, and then a handle to go on so you can carry it. That's the idea anyway. So let's see if it actually works. The hinges were a bit annoying to align, but they look pretty cool. So the idea is you'll be able to fold it up like this. There'll be a handle here, and you can take it away and take it to your home, to your gaming club, and vice versa. Before
we actually get the handles on and the lock and stuff like that, we're going to give it a nice sand, because I actually want to coat it in some wood stain. So we're going to give it a nice sand, make sure everything is nice and smooth, so we can get our paint on there. So all I did was pick up some Ronseal natural oak wood stain. This was about £10 a pot from again from B&Q. So just crack that bad boy open with a screwdriver, or what I've used here is my square. Get an old paintbrush, one that you're not too fussed about, you know, possibly knackering, and get that stuff all over the wood. Give it a nice, lovely sort of oaky finish. And I think you'll agree, it looks kind of lovely. So yeah, let's get that finished up.
So here it is after one coat of the Ronseal wood stain. I think you'd agree, it gives it a nice finish. Hopefully it will look even better once it's dry. Now I bet I did make a couple of mistakes, like over here for example we've got the arrow where I marked off for measurements and things like that, of where I wanted to put certain things, but once this is all sort of filled in with terrain and stuff, you're not going to see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool. So after fitting the rather large sort of cabin hook sort of locking mechanism that I bought, I decided that it was way too big, and you can just about see the holes where I'd you know, sort of screwed it in. Also, it was getting in the way of the handle, so I decided to go with two smaller sort of latch locks. I managed to get these ones off of Amazon for like £3, and I think you'll agree they look a lot nicer. They'll just fit over nicely on the edges. I'll put one this end or one this end, or maybe sort of 2/3 down, mark that out and put them in, and then the handle will be able to fit in the middle, so I can carry it and take it away. So let's get these fitted. Make sure when you're screwing it in to actually have it locked in the locked mechanism over. That way, you know it's going to basically relock once you've opened it up. Don't make silly mistakes.
I didn't actually use the electric drill because it's actually quite small, very small screw. So just make sure you got a screwdriver of the appropriate size, and screw that bad boy in by hand.
So now we've got the hatches fitted. They're looking quite nice. Hold it in place perfectly, which is what we need. And I also decided to change the handle. My chubby fingers wouldn't really get through underneath the other one that I've got, and this one was only £1 from my local hardware store. So I thought, you know, it looks better, it looks sort of more fitting with the latches. I think it's more practical. It's black, so it looks much better. So I'm really happy with that. So let's get that attached, and then that's almost us finished. So there you have it. One finished, painted, lacquered, stained, drilled, screwed, glued, and all of the other things I've done to it gaming board. And you see I've just added a few more details. What I've gone for is just a nice sort of black finish on the MDF there, and all I've done with that is just some, I give it a quick spray with some black spray, which is just, I just use pound stuff from Poundland, so it literally cost me, you know, not a lot. Printed off one of the logos for Marvel Crisis Protocol, because this is the primary use for my board. But of course, if you wanted to make something similar and cart it around, you can of course put whatever terrain you want inside it. It's entirely up to you, whether that's 40k, whether you're doing Kill Team, Warcry, you're doing zombies in Walking Dead, whatever you're doing, this will make a cool portable gaming surface for you. As you can see, handle works, nice and easy to cart around. And yeah, you can see here, you can see the finish on the handles. So let's crack it open and see what it looks like. Now, obviously the inside isn't done yet, that'll be in a later video, but you can see here, 1 3-foot by 3-foot gaming space to play lots of games on. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I hope it's useful. There's going to be a follow-up, like I said. So I'm going to be building all the TT Combat terrain kits, the ship, the docking crane. I'm going to try and come up with a sort of surface within this, made of sort of foam, Over the top will be sort of some sort of concrete that I'll make out of some styrofoam or something similar. And hopefully, yeah, it will look really cool. So, one gaming table, good to go. Join us next time. And please subscribe, give us a like, give us the thumbs up and all that, because it really helps. See you again soon, guys.